D-Roy Cruz here, your life applications officer. I'm not going to try to hold you long. This is going to go on my Christian Lives Matter channel because it's real personal. And we're in a place right now where we're hearing a lot on YouTube, and anybody that's been watching my channel knows that I rant because I'm a YouTuber, and I talk about whatever I talk about via YouTube, okay, via YouTube. If it's not talked about on YouTube, I don't make a big deal about it. I'm talking to YouTubers, and I'm talking to those that come to my channel as YouTubers because they're YouTubers like me and they want to criticize and hate and all like that. Other than that, I have more important things to do than get all emotional about the nonsense that's going on around me that I can't do anything about it but pray about it. That's all I can do. Anybody that's been watching my channel knows that I have no problem whatsoever with white people. Black people know this, and a lot of black people that I've grown up with. Just recently, during this Trump campaign, I came out of the closet as far as how I really feel about the state of black people in this country, and how I've always been anti-black conscious. And one thing you won't see me standing around doing is standing around hanging out with black folks talking about white supremacy and white privilege, and she did it because she was white. She thinks she all that because she was white, and he doing that because he a white boy. He just jealous because he white. He wants you to be jealous of him because he white. He got a problem with black people, blah, blah, blah. You're not going to see me doing that because I believe we're bigger than that. I believe that America is bigger than that. I believe white people are bigger than that. And white people have better things to think about and better things to worry about than trying to be somebody by putting down the black man. I really do. At least that's what I hope. But recently, I'm hearing these nationalists come out, and many others that follow them, coming up with this new term called "it's okay to be white." That's true, it is okay to be white. It's also okay to be black. It's also okay to be Asian. It's also okay to be Spanish. It's also okay to be German, to be Russian, to be whatever. Because if that's what feeds you and that's what causes you to raise your children in a happy home, and if that is the kind of women you like, and that is what causes you to get married and have a family and have a good job, have a business and all like that, whatever it makes you get off your lazy behind and be a real man or a real woman and produce offspring that will be real men and real women, whether that's white, black, or whether that's just American, okay? Whatever that is. Praise God for you. I mean, bravo. Yes, it is okay to be white. But in order to say, first of all, that Black Lives Matter, which is where this is why it doesn't bother me for white people to say that it's okay to be white, because the only reason why they're saying that is because people are saying Black Lives Matter, as if Black Lives Matter importantly than other folks, because black folks went through more. Like, there's a way for white folks to apologize for something that happened when they weren't here and when you weren't here. There's a way for white people to apologize to the Indians and apologize to Spain and apologize to all these people that refer to white people as white people or the white man instead of just referring to them as Americans or white Americans, okay, to separate them from black Americans. Anybody that's been watching my channel knows that I don't use those terms. I believe in America because that is where I come from. That is where I was born. If I was born in Africa, it might be somewhat confusing to me. But I was born here in the United States. I am an American. I am not an illegal citizen. I'm not an immigrant. I am an American. And the truth is, in the midst of all the stupidity of black folks, and even though we might outnumber especially other races, as well as whites, on picking or hating on whites, there's always going to be, there always has been, and there always is white people that show themselves, express themselves by the fact that they believe they're better than other races. And I'm only going to say this once in this video. Let me say that again. There has always been, there presently is, every day in my life anyway, and there always will be, white people who feel that they are better. Why? Because they are not like you, or not like me. Okay? And you see them at work every day. You see them, I just had a situation with a doctor on my job who just put me down in the most negative way because she, what? Because she could. Not because I did anything wrong. I was doing my job. But she felt that, she didn't want to let me work as a professional. And I asked permission. And she waited till I asked permission and then decided to snatch the papers out of my hand. Instead of asking me, what exactly does my boss want? She decided to treat me like I was a problem when she knows that I'm working my post. I'm working my job. I'm doing things by the book. And she know my boss ain't black. Okay? So why shouldn't she just take it up with my boss or ask me to offer to sign something or offer me to fill out something for her to make her feel comfortable or something, instead of just beat me down like that, openly, publicly beating me down like that, to let me know that my authority is only authority if she wants to let it be authority. Why would she do that to me? And today, I think about that and I feel like a fool. I feel like I don't want to do my job. I feel like next time somebody gets sick that's working my shift and ends up in the hospital, I'm not going to deal with these white people. That's the way I feel. I'm not going to ask nobody for nothing, because I'm never going to be put down like that again. You're not going to drag me down like that again. You know that I was only doing my job. Why would you do me like that? You did me like that because you could. Because it makes you feel like something that you don't need to feel like. I know you're white, but it bothered you that I'm trying to be a professional. What bothered you about me trying to do my job in the most professional way possible? What bothered you about that? Where do you snatch papers out of my hand after I've already asked permission to my client? And if you felt that, well, she's too sick to give you a straight answer, you should have said that. I'm not a doctor. Now, if I wanted to, I could make a big deal about this and go to her resident, superintendent or whatever and make a big deal about this. But in Jesus' name, I just let it go. But this is one of the things that I do, that I go through in life, where when white people tell me, or white people say stuff on YouTube like, it's okay to be white, I wonder what you mean by that. This is just one of them things, and I work with police. Where does police go to security and look for a suspect? Where do police get so bored with their jobs, they want so much action, they start taking out on their own security team? Start treating us like we got something to hide. Start treating us like, you know what I'm saying? If I'm doing something wrong, I should have to answer to the big boss. I should be sitting down in somebody's office, okay, explaining what I've done wrong. But no. Sometimes people just, for that 8 hours that you're at work that day, they want to act like you're not allowed to say anything. You're not allowed to do your job at ease like everybody else is. And there are times, not every day, but many, many times throughout the week, throughout the year, that people will put you down. Treat you like, I don't want to say that word because it makes people mad on both sides. People will treat you like you're a nobody. I'll put it like that. Just for the simple fact that you're trying to be somebody. And you're not trying to be above them. You hold the door for them. You respect them. You go to them and you talk to them like they are in authority. You refer to them as yes, sir, yes, ma'am. But they talk to you downward because they simply can. And they know they can get away with it. Nobody's going to waste time on what they meant by that. No one's going to waste time. Not even me, even though I may feel like that I'm the victim. I'm not going to waste time on what you really meant when you say certain things. When you treat me different today than you treated me yesterday. Is it my cologne? I'm the same black boy I was yesterday. Why today do I get treated like I'm a freaking, gangster? I dress the same every day. I dress better than most of the black folks I know that work alongside of me. Why am I being treated like I'm a problem today? Why am I constantly interrupting your conversation like the job isn't more important than your politics? And we go through this stuff every day. And then when you think everything is just peaceful and peachy, and you're yelling at black folks for always talking about white supremacy and white privilege and hating on white people. I'm walking up the street, just got off the bus, walking up the street minding my own business, and the same dude every night, every time he sees me, rides by me in a red car, calls me the N-word. How is it that I get invited over my friend's house. I'm giving her a ride. I'm taking her grocery shopping. Okay? And I bring her and her grandson, I said the story before, I bring her and her grandson back home from grocery shopping. I'm driving, I'm taking them out. I come to see them and spend time with them because they asked me to. But their next door neighbor had to let me know, without a long speech, that they don't appreciate me in their neighborhood. The dog runs off the porch and comes at me. I'm looking out for the grandbaby, the white grandbaby. The dog comes up. He's clear. He's just friendly. He's not out to hurt nobody. Fine. I pet the dog and they get offended. I'm going to say it again. I'm looking out for the grandkids. So I put myself in front of the grandbaby, the white grandbaby. Okay? The dog runs up on us. He's clear. He's just being friendly. That's the way he plays. That's fine. And then I pet the dog, and the family right next door to my friend, who's also white, gets offended that I pet their dog. What do you mean when you say it's okay to be white? It is okay to be white. It's also okay to be black. You won't hear me say that though. You know why? Because I know all black people ain't like me. All black people ain't trying to hold down a job. They ain't trying to have, functional families and take care of their women and their children and, be patriotic about this country. If I'm an American and you're an American, whether you be a white American, a Latino, an Asian, African, Indian, whatever, Iraqi, whatever. If I'm an American and you're an American, how much different are we that we should even say stuff like that? It's okay to be black. It's okay to be white. How about it's okay to be American? And it doesn't bother me if white folks define what that means because, let's be honest, a lot of black folks don't know what that means. But don't say that, and this is where, the Red Ice Network and all these nationalists are stupid, okay? Because don't say it's okay to be white as if people in Germany are just like you here in America, because they're not. Unless, of course, you are German who happens to live here in America. And your family is Germany. Or your family is Russian. Or European or whatever. But don't say that, because they have white skin in Germany, just like you got white skin here in America, you're the same, because you're not. You're two different cultures. I had a friend. I got a lot of white friends, but I had a friend from Germany. Okay? He came here to go to church, and he loved to take me out. Now, one thing I will say that he has in common with a lot of white people here in America is he always thinks that when he does something with me, he got to pay the bill. But other than that, he was really different, because I got a lot of white friends, and I know the difference between American white folks and Germans that have white skin. I know the difference. Okay, this guy is more giving, more open. Okay, and he has some things that he loves to do with his spare time in Germany that white folks over here, okay, ain't interested in. Okay? And so if you were to go to a German household without being related to a German family, okay, and sit there and get to know them, you might be bored for some of the ways in their culture that the way they enjoy their culture, the way they get through the day from sun up to sundown, the way they behave and the way they eat and the way what they do for fun or whatever. It's different than white folks here in America, trust me. Same thing with Russians, same thing with, most Russians I know want to be left alone. All they care about is their family. They don't care about being social. Okay? But anyway, every day there is that element of what shouldn't be a surprise anymore, but it happens, where people just throw and as much as I don't believe in black consciousness, okay, I don't believe in white consciousness either. But just like there are people that are black conscious, there are people that are white conscious. And every time they're alone with you, every time they're in a room with you, they always see themselves as better than you. Okay? Just like there's a lot of black people that every time they're in a room with you, they always see you with a jealous eye. They see you as better than them. And they get angry because that's the way they see you. They get angry because they feel that they have nothing to teach you, that you come on the job, first day of the job, and they can't show you nothing because you're white. They feel that way. Even though it's not really that way, they feel that way. But I'm proud to be an American. And I don't care if that is more pro-white than it is pro-black. Like I said in other videos, my problem is people coming from other countries not knowing anything about our history as well as white history, okay? And they come over here and they play, they hating on blacks. But let them get lost in the ghetto. And the first thing they want to do is stop the black man from walking his way to ask them how to get out of the ghetto. Oh, I'm too black for you to smile at me or have a conversation with me or sit next to me on the bus. But if you get lost in the ghetto, you're going to make sure I help you get out. Okay, that's one of the things I'm sick of. I wish people would come over here to this country with the desire to love Americans. To love Americans. If I was to go over to China or Japan, I would be there to get to know the people, the culture. Okay, and I wouldn't separate one Japanese group from another or one Chinese group from another. China is China. Japan is Japan. I want to know the culture. I want to know the language. I want to know, I want to know what it is that I need to do, not only to survive, but to also be at peace with the Chinese or the Japanese, because I am in their country. Doesn't matter to me all the different political groups of Japanese people or Chinese people. They're not all just Asians to me. but they are whatever country I've landed in. You understand what I mean? So I don't understand why anybody would say, let's start off with, it's okay to be black. It's not okay to be black when you're talking about always hating on white people. It's not okay to be black when you're talking about violence, when you're talking about shooting up your own people as well as white people. It's not okay to be black when you're talking about, free stuff and not knowing how to hold down a job, not knowing how to keep it in your pants, not knowing how to stop having children out of wedlock, not knowing how to, It's not okay to be black when you don't even know how to put a belt on and pull your pants up. It's not okay to be black when you confuse black culture with stupidity and nonsense. And this is the nonsense and stupidity that you feed white people. You want to show these white people that stupidity is black culture. No, it is not. Because guys like me have to suffer that. When I don't walk down the street like you. When I don't talk like you. When I don't dress like you. When I hold down a job and I go to work and I come home and I have respect for women. I'm considered a coward, a coon. Not only do I get attacked by black folks, I get attacked by white people who ride by in a little red Sunbird, call me the N-word. Because they figure if I'm a nice black guy, I must be a coward. Because all black people is about violence and about getting their wang off. But when you say it's okay to be white, what does that mean? What does it mean? I want to know from you, what is different? This is my question for you people watching that are going to watch this. I want you to answer the question, okay? It's important to me. It is very important to me, and I'll do a video on it. What is the difference between black Americans and white Americans other than racism? What is the difference between white Americans versus black Americans other than racism and stereotypes, let's say? What's the difference? We're Americans, but we're different races. What is it about me being an American that a white person needs to separate his white Americanness from my blackness? What is it that he needs to separate himself from me and say it's okay to be white? And I'm asking you black folks the same thing. What is it that you're doing in your culture that bothers white people other than white people honestly, truly being racist towards you? What is it that bothers you about them that you feel that black lives matter, but what about all the other lives in this country that ain't black? Do they matter? You've been better off saying something like minority lives matter. Just like some woman called me today and says, are you a minority, over the phone? And I says, I'm African American. She says, okay, we have a program for minorities to help them get a loan. I felt like turning the loan down, and if I wasn't in a situation that I'm in, I would have turned the loan down. But I'm trying to get out of here. So anyway, and I won't have the funds that I need to get out of here. This place is falling apart every single time we get one little drop of rain. It just falls apart more and more and more and more. I need to get out of here like a bat out of hell. I really do. But, and when I'm gone, I'm not looking back. But look here. I love America. I love white people. Anybody that's been watching my channel has heard my testimony a number of times, is where it's hard for me not to love white people when I woke up and came into this world. Some of the first people I probably saw at the hospital with my mom were white people. Okay? I grew up in a neighborhood that is predominantly black today because blacks tore it up. But back then it was a very mixed population. White, black, Spanish, Hawaiian, Asian. You know, we were all there and we all had fun and we all played together. We had a great time. And neither was my mother black conscious. You know, the rest of my family is very black conscious. They're always crying, you know, white supremacy, white privilege, you know, white people get on our last nerve, okay? But my mom did not do that. My mom was too busy benefiting from her friendships with white people, as well as babysitting white people's kids, okay? And sending me over to white people's homes and thanking them for babysitting me and doing such a good job with it. Okay? There's no room in my life back when I was a kid for my mom to teach me about the rules of dealing with white people, because we were so busy dealing with white people. You see what I'm saying? We were too busy going to church with them, traveling around with them, eating with them, supping with them, having a great time with them. There was no room or time for the consciousness. Okay? I mean, once you start having friends that naturally come over your house all the time, okay, you know, it's hard to be racist. It's hard. Unless you got like some parents or some brothers and sisters, or you using some philosophy or something to shove that mess down your throat. When you got good white people standing right next to you, supporting you and helping you, and you have something to give back to them, it's very difficult to fall into that racist trap, that garbage. It's hard. But I got relatives and friends that have fell for it. I went to a church where I had one white friend, and he did things for me that nobody else would do for me. He showed me the other side of the coin. He showed me the flip side of the ghetto. He showed me how the other half lives. And my people from my church coming up, the church that I was born and raised in, they didn't like him for that. The young folk anyway. Only my pastor and myself put this man on a pedestal for his kindness to us, our church and our people. But the other people, they felt that he was dividing us. Dividing us how? Because he's doing something for me that you ain't gonna do for me? Like when I tried to hang out with you last weekend, where was your black behind? Huh? Oh, you had things to do. So I'm talking to my boy on the phone. He comes over, and then next weekend at choir rehearsal, I tell you about it, you get upset and jealous. Well, where was you at last weekend? Oh, you was too busy. You was too busy busting a nut. Trying to lay down with some woman. Knowing that y'all ain't using protection. Knowing that y'all shouldn't be fornicating. Knowing that y'all don't want your parents to catch you doing this. Okay, you was in the ghetto creeping. You was creeping and being creepy. Okay? And I had to spend the weekend alone because you had your mind on one thing. But this brother was a bigger Christian than you. So he came, picked me up. Said, hey, let's go out to eat. I'm buying. Okay? Neither did he allow me to use him because next weekend he says, oh, I paid last weekend. You're buying. He wasn't the kind of white person to let me use him or mistreat him. He said, I'm going to pay for bowling this time. You're going to pay next week. So save your money. And I've had good white people in my life that have not only been good to me, but disciplined me and trained me in a way so that our friendship could last. And to this day, it still lasts. But a lot of the black folks that I grew up with, they're either in jail or dead or strung out, doing something they shouldn't be doing. They got a sad testimony to tell and can't nobody help them. And meanwhile, while all this is going on, they're going to blame it all on white people. That doesn't work for me. That doesn't help me. Okay? But I'm DeRoy Cruz, your Life Applications Officer. What is so different about our cultures that you need to be happy that you're white? How are you an American and you're proud to be an American and that's not enough? You need to be proud that you're white, as if whiteness done something for you that you being an American has not. And the same thing with black folks. What is it that you hate about white folks that you can't separate those that are racist from those that are not? Why can't you separate them? Why you got to treat all white people the same or accept their niceness and then when they walk past, talk about them like a dog as if they're all the same? Why do you do that? Why can't you separate the meat from the bone or separate the collies from the pit bulls? Why do you throw them all in one bucket like that? Just so that you can get some kind of political nonsense across. Why do you do that? I want those questions answered. It's important to me. So, talk to you soon. God bless you. DeRoy Cruz, your Life Applications Officer. I will see you with more. Thanks for watching.